Hi, I'm Ferdy Serum, and I want to give you an overview of New Mexico FaCES Ascend program. New Mexico Family and Community Engagement Solutions, or FaCES, began our work together in Taos a year ago. And we've tackled the digital divide. We see the digital divide as the problem. The digital divide is the gap between people who have affordable access and skills and support and everyone else who doesn't. And so the goal is digital equity, to make sure that we reach the condition where all individuals and communities have everything they need to fully participate. And therefore, digital inclusion is the work to get that done. This includes robust, affordable broadband, internet-enabled devices, internet skills training, quality technical support, and online content for self-sufficiency, participation, and collaboration. This is at the heart of the work we're doing with Ascend. Our model is community-based. The groups you see at the bottom, 6 of them, are all of the constituencies that need to have people that are fully prepared to take advantage of broadband. And our way of doing this is by hosting our activities at community schools. There are more than 100 community schools and growing in New Mexico. And by working and focusing on the families, in addition to what's going on in the school, making sure the families have the opportunity to take advantage of what's coming with the introduction of broadband. The first goal is to make sure that we are able to develop robust community infrastructure, which we'll do through community asset mapping and putting that information into a digital inclusion data hub for use by the participants, families, employers, and schools. We're going to expand human access in terms of language levels, literacy, and digital skills using community data coaches based on the community health worker model. And goal 3 is to build support capacity to increase family and community well-being in their ability to use broadband for health, work, and learning. Our outcomes for 10,000 New Mexico family members over the next 3 years are to engage families at all 4 stages, elders, adults, youth, and early learners, into digital inclusion activities we provide. Outcome 2 is to certify adults and youth in high-performance skills for work, life, and learning. Outcome 3 is to build the literacy, numeracy, and digital skills that are required for success with both the Opportunity Scholarships and the workforce development activities that take place at the community colleges. Outcome 4 is to invest $6 million in salaries and stipends, allowing us to hire community members as digital navigators or coaches. And outcome 5, of the 2,500 people who earn their certificates in high performance, the first 350 who get hired in broadband-related jobs will more than pay for the entire project. We're using an intergenerational way of doing this: elders, adults, youth, and early learning. Our coaches are coming from elders, and we'll be working with AARP to distribute that and recruit these folks. Our work with Big Brothers and Big Sisters is allowing adults and youth as working learners or service-based and work-based learning to get the skills that they need. And we're working with Moments Together to make sure that the parents of early learning students understand the best practices for parental technology use. All of this requires broadband, and all of these are part of the outcomes of what we're doing. But we realize that there are some very strong barriers for families. We call these the vital signs for opportunities to learn. There are 3. The technology access, which is fairly obvious, but less obvious is the human access and the community capacity. Let's see what these are. As we rate your readiness, if you can't stream because your internet connection is weak or intermittent, you're going to have a hard time benefiting from broadband. Only people at level 1 are able to work and learn online with no difficulty. If you have no device or a non-dedicated device and you're trying to share it with 5 family members, that also presents a barrier. Only people who have their own devices are going to be able to do it. Similarly, with human access, Your literacy level in English is very important in terms of whether you're going to be employable. But your literacy level in English and Spanish could be a really good boost for bilingual employment. And whether you use the technology enough to become fluent in it is also a factor. Community capacity has to do with where and when you can receive coaching, and whether the people you're working with are familiar with the technology or not. In every community, there are people at all three levels all the time. And so we're leveraging the ability to connect these folks and have them support one another. We know that social determinants of health are very important. Here you see the factors that can affect the length of life and quality of life, 50% of each. And when we look at the broadband factors that we just saw a moment ago, we see the impact. The technology access for broadband determines whether or not your physical environment is going to support what you need to do. The human access in terms of language and literacy is part of the social and economic factors. Together, these two make up 50% of what's going to happen in your social determinants of health. And the community capacity determines whether you're going to be able to use telehealth and whether you have the health behaviors that are going to allow you to be healthy. Some of these health behaviors are negatively impacted by overuse of technology. So this is now showing us that broadband could be considered the latest social determinant of health. And we're making sure in our project to increase the healthiness of our families and communities. We do that by community asset mapping. Here is the Thrive tool that we're using, which helps people understand where can I go, what opportunities are available to me, and who's going to help me. These are built into the data that we're going to be using and sharing with coaches and participants. So together, this provides an infrastructure for empowered learning. The community asset mapping, together with our data coaches and the digital inclusion activities, workshops, and projects that we've designed, they then are boosted by the human access in terms of community broadband workforce and adoption through the career strategies and high-performance certificates for health, work, and learning. We're working with employers that will give hiring preferences to people who've earned the CSM certificate. And it's going to take place in the community schools because the community schools have relationships with the community organizations, employers, and families that they serve. For the people that have a low level of literacy or low levels of previous educational attainment, additional support is available through the interactive family learning and also our basic digital skills coaching. We know that the literacy necessary to do the CSM course for the high-performance certificates is at least 4th grade, and many New Mexico families are below that. That's why we're providing this literacy support. We're also going to provide this support to the families of the employers that are working with us. Here's the overall model for our project. 10,000 participants over 3 years in 30 communities supported by coaches. The regional hubs will be Farmington, Taos, Albuquerque, Roswell, and Las Cruces. And our partners, New Mexico FaCES is the project lead with our Digital Navigator curriculum, partnering with Apex Evaluation, who do extensive work with community schools and have designed digital hubs before. So they're going to be building our digital hub. Seymour Impact Labs does the high-performance certificates. Family Learning does the literacy and numeracy. Startup Generation assists with entrepreneurship. Working with our public broadcasting partners, especially in Las Cruces, we're going to be focusing on journalism and digital media. And working with Moments Together to provide early childhood parent resources. Our goals involve different combinations of our partners. So the Office of Broadband, Higher Ed, Public Ed, and Department of Cultural Affairs are working on our first goal for robust community infrastructure. The indicators are shown here. This is the data we'll be collecting to show the effectiveness of our programs. Our second goal, expanding human access, involves higher ed, early childhood, Department of Workforce Solutions, and the Economic Development Department. And our indicators here are the number of families completing our workshops, enrolling, and getting hired. And goal 3, building the support capacity within the community through our workshops, literacy, and early childhood, is what leads us to know that families and communities are experiencing increased well-being for health, work, and learning. The components of the project are our workshops, our digital inclusion workshops, combined with the Digital Inclusion Hub so that the participants and the coaches will have access to all the data they need to know if they're being more effective and how to become more effective. Workplace readiness is supported by Seymour Impact Labs. Literacy and numeracy is supported by the Family Learning Company. And entrepreneurship is supported by Startup Generation, which has been particularly effective in helping non-traditional candidates become successful. So where are the jobs for broadband? There are 3 areas that are going to be affected. Employment requiring 21st century working and learning skills and the workplace readiness that is measured by the CSM Certificate of High Performance touches STEM, business management and administration, marketing, sales, and services. Internet service providers are particularly needing folks with these skills. And the learning that is needed for people to benefit from it may require additional literacy, numeracy, and the digital fluency that we provide. This is to allow people to enter the information technology, arts and AV, and education and training opportunities that come with broadband. Finally, health, community health and resiliency, through our work with Apex and their work with community schools, allows us to work with employers in human services, agricultural, food and natural resources, and health science. We did an analysis of the income levels of these entry-level jobs. The median entry-level employment in these areas is $37,210 across New Mexico. So when the first 350 of our people get hired, it will have more than paid for the entire project of 3 years. Our work is based on our success with the Gear 2 broadband project that involved these agencies: the Office of Broadband Access and Expansion, Early Childhood, Higher Education, and Public Education. We're proposing to extend this partnership to additional agencies to maximize the impact of broadband. That would be the Department of Cultural Affairs, because they are over the community anchor institutions, libraries, and museums where these activities will take place outside of the community schools. And also Department of Workforce Solutions and the Economic Development Department, because the new employment that comes through broadband will come through them. Our way of supporting people is through coaching, and we do this through project-based learning and workplace learning. So our Family Recipes project has already been successful in engaging families in learning these digital skills, as has our Pocket Canvas workshops and our Micro Seasons workshops. Our method of coaching is learning by doing. All of our projects are designed to help people build basic computer skills, working wherever they are, from zero experience to workplace ready. We use the ArcGIS story maps to do this, and you can see examples of how we have done this already through the Early Childhood Family Recipes, our Pocket Canvas Visual Arts, and the Micro Seasons project. Anyone participating in our project is learning these skills. As they do it, they're learning the tools that you see here, and as they collaborate, they are using the skills that you see here. Along the way, they understand how to be safe, how to keep their privacy and their information secure in terms of the best practices. These projects have already taken place, they've already been successful, and if you wish to check them out, here's a place where you can go to see them. Thank you very much. This is New Mexico FaCES and the Ascend Project, and our contact information is there. We look forward to working with you.